analysis. Who's a little activity that I'm hearing about? And career honesty. Hopefully, we'll be able to lay some of those fears to rest. These techniques are very, very useful, but they also can be understood conceptually very, very easily. So here's a scenario. I've hired you all as my data analysts. You have to go into some data. A researcher, me, I come to you and I develop an intervention that will seriously decrease the amount of violent behaviors a student in high school will express. I have a specific theory of how this will work. I believe I know the mechanism of how my intervention will affect the students. Specifically, I believe the intervention will increase positive behaviors in students, and that will therefore decrease their violent behavior. Positive youth development, heard that before, that's in hot. So here's my theory. So my intervention will increase positive behaviors, which will in turn decrease violent behaviors. This is dream world. I can do whatever I want with these mutations. So in this world, I can randomly assign students to sleep But I do have validated, beautiful instruments. I have validated instruments that are reliable, commonly filled, and I trust that measure a person's positive behavior and their violent behavior. And I administer these instruments over over a high school student's entire high school career. So starting with their freshman year, their sophomore year, I'll administer these instruments again, and so on and so forth. 4 years. Here's the data. So an ID. I have their violent behaviors at time 1, violent behaviors at time 2, 3, 4. I also have positive behaviors at time 1, 2, 3, 4. So to do their freshman year, their sophomore year, their junior year, their senior year, and so forth. And then I have the intervention status, whether they're in the control group or the intervention group. What are these dots? Why do I have this data?
You're not in the real dream world.
We mentioned reality. This is real data.
It looks like those students left because you don't have any more data after the first one. So they maybe moved or whatever, they're gone.
That's all. Yeah, that's that too, like a detriment. Yeah, so student 110013 looks like they dropped out for whatever reason after their freshman year. This person looks like they were there for the freshman year, but they were sick that day. Those surveys. What do all these numbers mean? 0.33, 0.11, 0.00. Scores for my measurement instrument. What kind of scale am I on? But there's some negative numbers What's the natural scale for violent behaviors? It should be in inches, pounds. These are all based on a Likert scale, and so they're based on a scale from 1 to 7, and I just standardized them. These are all these scores. Since the scale is completely arbitrary for violent behaviors in this case, and positive behaviors in this case, I can do whatever scale I want. Just going through this score. All right, now I'm going to turn the data over to you. Your groups on the table. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to discuss, and then I will record the answers up here, so there's some accountability, of how you're going to analyze this data. Yeah?
So we have either 1, 2, 3, 4,
This is across time. So this is my behavior of the freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. So this is over 4 years. This is again dream. In some ways, this is dream. This is wonderful, rich data set.
So are the positive behaviors also Z-scores?
They also are Z-scores. On this front page, you have a very large data set for thousands and thousands of students. So you're just going to do this in your head. I was going to give the data, but Charles jumped in, so that's going to be too hard. So and I agree. This is just conceptual exercise. So your tables are going to be your groups. You're going to, how do you tell the story of this data? What are you going to do? 5 minutes. And then we'll get together as a class to figure out how we're going to tell the story. Does my tradition run?
Come on over.
hard because there's no longitudinal stuff on the mouse.
Right. So I think you would have to give it
I was gonna say unless you guys.
We went to one of the lessons that you can use the data you have, and we have a lot of data.
Yeah.
So you should be able to estimate what this goes to.
And I think you guys know the answer. It's like you peeked at the end of the novel. I think that's what he's probably going to get at here. Yeah, no, because I think the answer is throw it out, but then you might be throwing out because you have to if the alternative is to keep them. But maybe there's a third alternative.
The trouble with throwing out though is that the ones that moved, for whatever reason, may have similar characteristics.
Actually, probably if they're coming from the broken homes, right? All that kind of stuff.
So you throw that out, and it
Your body
there's there is positive. Well, it's involved. It's not like you have positive.
It's like you tested athletic ability, a bunch of students doing P90X, half of them drop out. Well, it's probably the unathletic type, right? You know, and all of a sudden everyone's more fit.
So it works.
So it works.
We almost want to graph just so you have an average line.
Specifically, I don't know how. I mean,
Where you guys to judge it?
I don't know how you take over time having the two different variables to do that. I mean, I understand how you do it. You just want to look at biobehavior over time and see how it changes. Well, because, well, not necessarily estimate. We have a variable that's being measured over time, but we want to know how does that relate to this other variable over time. So, what you do, so the first one we should try to think is, let's do like, teachers in class, we can reserve not time, it's to class size. That's what I don't know, is the assumption of what up for time. So this one would be regressive data all the time. Or would you just regress? So the classroom is smaller. Classroom teachers in classroom school. Individual classroom school. Where does time individual
So would you be using regression then on to look at these two variables? Is that what your kind of model you're running? So you can test them within classes and stuff?
Because it's nested, it's individual time. If they were tested.
Oh, so testing them at the time.
So we have
What's the idea of how we get how you all right, let me take a look at it. How would you analyze the data?
So our table concluded, can you guys hear me online, by the way? No? Yeah, you can, okay. Our table concluded that we don't have enough data to say anything for certain with only 2 interventions.
Oh, so that's what kind of was a bit confusing. This is only the first page of your SPSS data file. You have thousands of cases.
Right, so, with that assumption, we decided to look for latent variables.
Something to do with latent variables.
Something growth curve model.
What's your outcome? Change over time. Something to do with between group differences. What are your levels? No, it's like it's okay, so we have some big words being thrown out over here. Very good. Very good. What else?
We talked about some options. We could look at, we could like plot the different scores. So each person has a line, and then if the lines are semi-straight, then you can just take the slope of each line and do like a scatter plot of the slopes. So you go like groups or trends of changes.
Just look at the land and
We could just take the freshman and senior scores and just take a different score and use those.
So you can just do like a t-test.
Yeah.
Okay. Or higher than Any other ideas?
I'd probably just hire Ross to do
How do we boil this data down to its basic limits? It's important to know. There's lots of data.
It's open.
Some of us even wanted more. Can we have gender too? Yeah, this is all the data we have. Lots of data. How do we boil this down to something that's a little bit more manageable? What's important? Yeah.
Could you use a clustering algorithm to do cluster students and to find out the number of students that way?
So do you use some kind of clustering algorithm to identify certain students? And maybe those are a bit more representative? Okay. What else? What are the other ideas?
We categorize students by, like, if they're increasing in amount of behavior every time or decreasing.
All right. So how do we make that? So we want to tell whether students are increasing or decreasing over time. How do we make that important?
Well, you can subtract the last from the first, but then you don't have to put that in the middle.
So we just do the senior and freshman to get a change. But then we want a lot of data. It's problematic. It's very low. What else? What else is important? Is it important where they start on their violent behavior score? And where they start on a positive behavior score?
And the relationship between changes of positive behaviors and changes of negative behaviors.
It's even more complicated because we want to somehow capture this theoretical model. We want to capture somehow this interventions affect these positive behaviors in a positive way, and so on and so forth. So assuming linear change, good job. There's two pieces of information we can know that latent growth with modeling will boil this data down into. We'll boil it down into a starting point, or an upset, and the rate of change, or slope. And I'll use this using really fun techniques that involves all the data, not just the first point or the last point. So, once I work my magic, M plus, other word M plus, I'll actually get a number for every single student. Their violet intercept and their violet slope. Now instead of 4 data points, or 4 variables for time I have 2. How can I use these 2 variables in answering my question?
I want to know first why we're okay with just using slope if some of the curves are not linear.
Very good question.
Why do we assume linearity?
Hold that thought. I will address that in the next slide. So assuming that linearity is a good strategy to use, which may or may not be true, but assuming that we can make that assumption, how can I use these 2 variables in my analysis instead of the 4 variables I had before? Yeah, obviously. Very smart words over here.
You can see if your violent slope correlates with your positive behavior slope.
So I could do the same process for positive behaviors, because I had 4 data points for them as well, 4 time points. And then I could correlate the slopes. And I could also correlate the intercepts. Then I'm going to boil down those relationships down to a number. Now, very smart people up here thought of this next question. Oh, well, that's fine. This is again based on real data, which is messy. Latent growth curve modeling makes a model. It creates an intercept for every single person and a slope for every single person. You can take an average of everybody's intercept and everybody's slope and create one overall line. That's what this line here is with the little triangles.
Line of best fit for you.
Line of best fit. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. What this, with the squares, is the actual estimated means of the vital behaviors at my 4 time points. Is my model a good one?
It's the best fit. I mean, it's good.
Does it look like my real data is linearly?
No.
In fact, it's kind of going down at the end where the line of best fit is going up.
That's right. Linearity. Interim rules. A lot of times we as statisticians don't like to go to this curvilinear place. This makes things a bit more complicated, so we use the fat pencil approach. If you write a fat pencil over your line, it covers both your lines. There are other techniques to account for curvilinearness in your data. You can actually put what is called a quadratic term in your equation. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to use a very fat pencil. Just assume that linearity is good enough. But that's something to think about. All right, so fat pencil, we're all happy with the linearity assumption now. Yeah. So we can trust our numbers. Let's talk about some diagrams now. This is SEM world pictures, which I really love. Instead of an equation up here, you have circles and squares. Anyone can understand this. And lines. We have circles. In SEM terminology, what does a circle mean? Anybody know?
A latent variable.
A latent variable. What's a latent variable?
Something that cannot be measured.
Something that's not directly observed.
That's constructed through measurable variables.
That is constructed through measurable variables. That's exactly what it is. Do we directly observe somebody's intercept and slope above their violent behavior? Can we take a ruler and measure those things? No. We can measure their scores at 4 time points, and we can use that data to construct a latent intercept and a latent slope, which we saw here. These are latent variables. What does a square mean in SEM terminology? Manifest variable, which means something you can measure, something directly observable. So in our little example, we actually have 4 manifest variables for violent behavior. Violent behavior is freshman year, sophomore year, et cetera, et cetera. What do these lines mean? These arrows? I heard something about relationship. That's good.
They're hypothesized effects of latent variables on manifest observations.
That's pretty good explanation. They're hypothesized relationships between manifest variables and latent variables. In this case, to use this technique called latent growth curve modeling, we fix these terms. We say that we know what the relationship is between our slope and our manifest variables and our intercept and our manifest variables. If for those of you familiar with CFA, for factor analysis, who's heard that term? Very interesting. You would actually estimate what these relationships are. So that's not the case in our growth curve model. We're fixing them. We'll fix the values of the slope of my relationships to my manifest variables to whatever time point I'm talking about. So this is time point 0. So that arrow disappears because there's no relationship between my slope and age 6 reading. This is time point 1. So that's that relationship, time point 2. And the intercept, by the way that magic works, will always be 1 or 2. So So that's as technical as I'm going to get during this presentation. This is how the magic works behind the scenes. One interesting thing that you can do in SEM world that makes it a little and a mean value of -0.009 over slope. What does that mean? Going down is time to guesses. So they're having more positive behaviors than freshman year. Notice how many stars next to these? What does that mean? Non-specific significant. So there's a negative slope that is not specific significant. That's good to know. So they are decreasing the slope that is just by chance alone. What about these ones? They could just be true. What's this number? 0.363 starts back. That's generally where they started. That's where the model estimates that's where they started on an arbitrary scale. So there's a what is 0.023 mean?
They go slightly more violent.
They get more violent as time progresses. And that number is significant. Could be. What does 1, 2, 3 mean again? Points in time. How come I don't have an arrow to positive behavior 1? 0. Because that's my 0 time point. That's my intercept. So if that path is 0, just disappears. Now I can do what somebody mentioned first, Bob. I can actually correlate or regress this violet intercept and this violet slope to this positive stuff. Let's see what comes up. So I have a positive behavior intercept and I have a regression coefficient to violet intercept and a regression coefficient to violet slope. What is -0.171 starts from? So they're negatively correlated, that's true. So what does that mean in English?
So that means the higher the positive T, the intercept, the lower the violet.
Very good. So the higher they started on positive behavior, the lower they started on violet behavior. Actually, that's really good evidence for our theory. You can say those things are related. What is this one number? -0.014.
If they started higher on the positive, if their behavior was positive, higher than the behavior originally was, the lower the slope is for violet.
Very good. So the higher their positive behavior is initially, the lower their slope is for violence. How come I don't have a path from positive behavior slope to violent intercept?
The positive behavior doesn't come before where they started.
What's my positive behavior slope again? What is that?
How much they increase in positive behavior.
The rate of change over time. And what's their intercept?
Sorry, start.
Does it make sense that the rate of change would affect where they start? In eternity, maybe it makes sense. In linear time, no, it doesn't. So let that back out. What does this -0.21 mean? Is my intervention on here at all? Does it say anything about intervention yet?
That's the best evidence for your intervention being good, because it says that the more they increase in positive behavior, the more they decrease in violent.
I'll agree with that latter part of your statement. It does confirm part of our theory, that this path right here is a real significant path. The higher positive behaviors increase, the more violent behaviors decrease over time.
But it doesn't say anything about
But it doesn't say anything about the intervention. Not yet. This,
So is the reason you want to do this so that you can, because maybe as kids get older, they mature and their positive behaviors go up and their violent behaviors go down and have anything to do with them.
that's true.
Is that why you have to do this part of your theory first and then?
Actually, if I was doing this in real life, I would do the final model first. This is for demonstration purposes. You would not do this in isolation. But this is very sexy things in today's literature. It's called parallel processes to get published. You use this kind of stuff. Now let's, for demonstration purposes only, I put in the intervention status I did this model in layers. This would be the final model I would run if I had this hypothesis of what I did in the first place. I have my intervention status. Why is it a square? I know, I measure whether a person's in the control group or the treatment group. And what values can intervention status take on? One means yes, they were in the group. 0 means they were in the control group. So I have this path here, 0.026 star like this path. Those who had the intervention tended to have a higher positive behavior slope.
But intervention is good.
How come I don't have intervention status having arrows to represents? Because it started at. What about violent sleep? What does this mean?
It's negative, but it's not significant.
It's not significant. Why would I test this? It's not in my logic model. You just do whatever. This is a test of giving leftover variance that your intervention is directly affecting violent slope above and beyond your hypothesized path. Using this real data, we can confirm that the intervention actually works. The intervention actually increases positive behavior over time, and that in turn decreases violent behavior.
How do you make sense of that? I mean, it says that it does increase over time, and it's statistically significant, but how about the practical of that?
So,
Tell us?
no, that's a very good question. So you look at this number, this negative 0.210. We're on arbitrary scales. This is a beta. For those of you who are taking stats 1 or stats 2, what's the actual definition of negative 0.21? What's the strict definition? Where every 1 unit increase in slope, your vital slope will decrease by 0.21. Is there a cumbersome explanation? There are other things you can do to this to make this number more meaningful to the consumer. The one thing you can do, you can multiply this number by 4. Why would I do that?
4 years.
4 years. So if I multiply this number by 4, this will be the expected amount of change in the time school. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you do, you can convert this to a metric that makes sense, which should be standard deviations in this case. Luckily, because I've already standardized positive behavior and negative behavior, this already is in standard deviations. So if I multiply this by 4, I get about 0.8. So by the end of high school, my students will experience 1 unit increase per year, 1 standard deviation increase per year of positive behavior slope will experience a 0.8 standard deviation decrease in their slope or in their violence.
How much of that is the
How much of the comes intervention? How would I answer that question? The answer is right in front of you. What?
Only a 50. 0.025. Right,
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. How did you get that number?
well, 0.026 means that only 26 out of 1,000, like only only 2.6% of the change is explained by the intervention.
Very good.
Which means
very close. It's not exact, it's not percent, but what we do is we multiply this number by that number.
Right.
And that's the amount that's due to the intervention.
So this isn't directly
Which is almost nothing. But you multiply that number by 4, it's in standard deviation, so it's still going to be a practice effect depending on your standard. All right, any other questions here? Good. So this is the know-how. And if you want to know how to actually do the magic, use them as you do this, take my SNM course in the spring. Take that. So summary, latent growth group modeling, that scary sounding words, is an excellent strategy to boil down longitudinal data sets into less variables. And those variables you can interrelate with each other and understand things in a much cooler way than you would normally. In our case, we only had predictor variables. We can also have what are called distal variables. We can have slopes and violence predict other things like future SES or enrollment, anything you can think of. And so the sky's the limit for what these models can test. They really are quite exciting when it comes to proving or disproving theory. All right, any questions?
So did the intervention help?
Well, it's kind of made up.
Practical.
The intervention doesn't really exist. If it did, then it would help. Whether it's practically or not would be up for the extra start. Yes. Probably, maybe it's not worth the amount of, if it really was an intervention.
That's the administrator talking about. Well, I don't put my money into.
Exactly. This, M+ is my program. This can be done in any structural equation modeling program, like Calculus and SAS and Lizrel. R has modules that can do this. Any other questions? So link growth curve modeling scary? I failed you all. No, it's not scary at all. It just boils things down to two numbers and intercept. Okay. Very quickly, because we have 10 minutes, latent class analysis or mixture modeling. You get very scary sounding names, they're really not that bad. If you have categorical indicators or categorical data, we call it latent class analysis. If it's continuous, we call it latent profile analysis. This data analytical approach is person-centered, and that will make more sense in a moment, as opposed to variable-centered, which is what we use when we are using confirmatory factor analysis. An example. All right, so here's drug use popular sample that I have. They're over 18 years old. 250 of them. They're in rural Ohio. They're not in a treatment program. They must have used drugs. And we've asked them all sorts of questions of what kind of drugs they use. 1 minute. Here's the data. This is the data you collect. I'm your boss. You're the data analysts. You have 1 minute to confer with your group. How would you tell me the story of this data? There is none yet. Oh, I just want to know what story this data is telling
Still has or not. Based on your categories or your types of drugs,
All the
Marijuana is the highest used. They call it the gateway drug.
And that hypothesis seems to be confirmed by this data because everybody's using marijuana.
Unless everybody starts with meth and they stop using meth and go to heroin.
It's true. This is cross-sectional data. We have no idea. So we can show the table, or we can use something called latent class analysis. Analyze the data to see the hidden groups in our data. Groups that are latent. What does latent mean again? Unobserved unmeasurable data. So we know all these things about these people. We know they do that and all this other stuff, but we don't know maybe what type of drug users they are. They didn't ask a question. Are you a heavy drug user? Consider yourself likely to don't know any of that. Maybe the data will tell us some of the story. And it can, if you're magic, which I will cover. And it can give us what are called profiles of our people. And because of magic, which was the previous slide again for my same course, we're going to know more about that. We have 3 groups of people. This group up here seems to be higher usage. This is propensity of use on the y-axis. And here are all the drugs. This group here seems to be a higher propensity of use of all drugs. So those would be heavy drug users. That's class number 2. That's 64%. What about this one here? This class here with the square. That's class 3. That's 11%. What's their story?
Marijuana and crack.
And use crack cocaine. Good. And what about this class 3, this 11.2%? What do they use? They use powder cocaine primarily. Now this is where a horrible show, Breaking Bad, came in useful last time I presented this because my students watched it. And they were telling me what this meant because I didn't know what it was. Apparently, powder cocaine is much more routine, much more expensive than crack cocaine. So, apparently, I have no idea. So, looking from this would look like these would be affluent people. This would be affluent drug users, and this would be low SES drug users. All right, so but they all smoke marijuana, but that is true. So, using the magic, we can identify people according to,
How does it identify the profile?
It uses procedures very close, similar to factor analysis. It uses the data to inform which propensity or the probability that this person is the part of group 1
Infinite number of patterns that it can find, or do you tell it how many patterns you want?
That's a very good question. There is an infinite number of patterns that you can find, and there's all sorts of fun statistics to try to narrow down how many classes are appropriate through data. That's a slide I skipped the magic part. We decided through statistics that 3 classes was appropriate. And since we decided that, and we've looked at the data and decided to give names to the classes, we can tell that person number 1 is a crack cocaine user, while person number 5 is a heavy drug user, and so on and so forth. And now we've, again, boiled down our data. Instead of all this drug information that's kind of overwhelming in a table, we get it down to 1 number or 1 category. Now we do fun things with that. What other questions could you think to ask now that you know, or at least to have a guess of which category each one of these people are in? What other questions could you ask?
Age, gender.
Age, gender.
Is that else huge?
Very good, very natural question. Under health outcomes, you probably would expect the heavy drug users to have more health problems if we had a geographic test. Anything else?
You can see where they live. You can build a drug users live in one house together.
Okay. All sorts of fun, silly questions like that. Okay. Yes, now that we have this information, we can have all sorts of other questions we can answer. We can answer what's just we can answer questions about age, about gender. We also, as I said before, can have a distal outcome. We can have drug use predict something in the future, like future SES. You can find, this is actually true, this is based on real data, you regress gender under categories and you find that the youngest people are in that class 3, those boutique powder cocaine, I think it is? Not the crack cocaine, the other ones. Powder cocaine users is the youngest of the 3, which would support the hypothesis that my students came up with that this was more of an athlete drug. This is the young people who apparently have more money. Our parents, somebody has more money, so plan to with this. Yes. So in summary, for a late class analysis, it sounds so scary, but it's really quite simple. You just put people in classes. Here's some laughter. Conceptually, it's a little difficult to do, but again, that's my classes for. It's superior to what is called cluster analysis. Has anybody heard about that before? Cluster analysis is actually the same objective, but it's very subjective of how many classes you have. Like class analysis actually gives you p-values to determine how many classes you have. And then you can have these categories either be predicted by things or predict other things in the future, which is incredibly useful. All right, any questions about this? Yes.
So you had two different types, whether you had categorical or continuous variables. What if you have a data set that has both?
You have both, then you can use a hybrid between. So these things here, where did they go? All continuous one is called latent profile analysis. All categorical is latent class analysis. Those are arbitrary labels. There's really nothing different about the math behind what is going on. So there's no reason you can have a combination of it. I'm not sure what you call them, but they're just the same. All right, any other questions? Yes.
Is it like normal other statistics lower level to on the sample size? How much data do you like for those types of analysis? How big is power?
A really good question. So the question was how much sample size you need in order for these latent class analysis, I assume, to be useful.
And for the previous one.
And the previous one. And both, the answer to both those questions, it depends. It depends on the nature of your data. If you have strong separation between your classes, such as inherent in your indicators, you can have a smaller sample size. If you have very small separation between your classes, you need a much larger one in order to get significance. And same thing with your growth models. If you have very strong slopes, then you'll need a lot smaller sample size. Yes.
Well, the latent class analysis act like a CFA where it will tell you which variables were most important to predicting that class and reject the ones that aren't that
Very
important.
good.
So you should just throw everything in, or is it a theoretical decision?
That's a good question. The question was, does the LCA approach give you information about which indicators are important? The answer is yes. You will actually get p-values associated with each indicator in the predicting the classes. The other question is, well, should you just throw everything in and that's all you care about, or do you want to understand the structure of this? That's a more context-dependent answer. If you just care about the categories, throw everything in. If you want to understand the structure better, then it's better to actually have a theoretical basis for which indicators you include. Good questions. Yeah.
What kind of research has been done on latent variables to see if they have any sort of semblance in reality, or if they're just some sort of contrivance in numbers?
Let me reframe the question a different way, which is a very good question. What advantage does latent variable approaches have over manifest variable approaches? Because we can use manifest variables to approximate big averages, and say that's our latent variable. As the sample size is larger, in most cases, the latent variable approach will give you better unbiased estimates than the manifest approach. So in other words, it works as a sample size increases, so it works the best. That's your question? Kind of. So it's, maybe your question is, how does it work showing that this latent variable stuff is useful? Maybe so.
Not as anything in reality is connected to.
So does it match up to reality? And the question, how you do that is you match it, you validate it. You match it, you correlate with things that you know are manifests. In that case, yes, the answer is absolutely yes.
So there are ways to validate latent variables.
Oh, you
Using prediction.
Exactly. You do like you validate any measures. All measures are latent, what you call it latent. Like, by the scale measures, and you always have to prove by correlation with scale that it's actually measuring what we're doing. Any other questions? Well, I hope you've lost some of your anxiety over these things. They're really not that bad. And if you don't want to learn them, that's what you need to do.
Let's give Ross a big hand. Let's try to share this with you because we want you to know what's happening, the kind of research that faculty is doing, and it's really important for us as instructional technologists and as researchers and evaluators to look at all of the measurement techniques that we have at our disposal because they'll teach us different things. So we love having Ross on the faculty and are grateful that he brings some new expertise in SEM to our department. Let's go down and have lunch.